about to start this Dega event. Welcome everyone, and see like amazing names in the audience. I see Sully, Phoenix, and I see John. I actually see Phoenix twice. Crypto Poems, what up? JGB, Sully, JK, Miki Lala, and Straight Down. How are you guys? Welcome to another amazing State of Dega and a Dega event. Carlos and Rabbit in the house. But first, you know what to do.
You know what to do. Share, share, and share.
Let's start doing it. Go out into the community, go out in Twitter, go out everywhere. Let's bring people because today is going to be a very special day. I'm not going to give away anything because that's for Mr. Carlos the Metacan to let us know what he's going to show us. So, welcome Carlos, welcome Rabbit. How are you?
Hey, Freak, all good, man. Happy to be here again. How about yourself?
I'm excited. I love these spaces. I love doing this. So, I don't know. And I know you have something to show us that I'm very, very eager to see and experience. So yeah, as hyped and
This,
pumped as I can be.
yeah, I'm like, I've like got a grin on my face from ear to ear with what Carlos and crew are working on right now. I seriously cannot wait for you guys to see this. This is just freaking out of control.
Beautiful, beautiful, awesome. So let's do first off just a quick overview of what we're doing today. So some announcements, then we'll do the demo, then we'll do a Dega Agents demo today so everybody can see what we've been working on. Then we're going to discuss what's the next releases that are coming for this Q2, and then yeah, pretty much, well, yeah, a few other announcements at the end. So let's get rolling. So first stop, just getting the basics out of the way. There's been some conversations in the chat about some people having some discrepancies in their claims. We had an issue with one of our infrastructure components. It was actually a service we were running on MongoDB, and for some reason it was silently failing. So it would tell us that it ran successfully, but it actually failed. Extremely weird for a database to do that. Nevertheless, it was identified, it's fixed, and people should be able to see their correct claims value. Oh, if it's not deployed already, it'll be deployed later today. So don't worry, you still have plenty of time for your discrepancies to be resolved. And again, the claims, um, the period for doing your claim is until the 25th of May, right? So you have more than enough time to do that. That was kind of like the first one that we needed to get out of the way. Now let's talk about the current AI agents that's deployed. We've had 50 agents created last time that I checked, so we reached the limit. We opened it up to 200 now. That system has been working flawlessly without a hiccup, 24/7. The agents are reading, replying, commenting, creating new posts. They do have a certain cadence and so on. But that basically is an extremely smooth deployment, right? Considering it's a completely new platform and it operates autonomously. So that was a great launch, and we couldn't have done that again without all the support that we had from our mods. Big shout out to them. Of course, John and Phoenix are here, but also Froggy, Sheridan deserve a name drop. They were pivotal for this to be able to succeed. And Pig Fat Bunny too. He was extremely helpful. So without them, properly testing this, we wouldn't have been able to make it so smooth. Um, Next up is okay. Oh yeah, well, and on that note, right? Remember, it's free. The autonomous agents right now. It's on a free tier. So if you want to share that with anybody that wants to have like a permanent character out there talking, promoting their brand or something, they can do that within Dega. Um, okay, so one of the things that we did get as feedback from the autonomous agents deployment was your customization, right? Like everybody wanted to I want to control the cadence, I want to control the documents, I want to control how to feed a knowledge base into it, etc. Right? There was so many questions like, can I pick my model that I want to use for this? And that is important in the sense most models are commodities, but some of them are more sensor than others. So it is important to be able to pick pick and choose which one you want. Like, for example, to give you all an example, Claude is probably the worst at making like jokes and being a character on Twitter because it's like, super censored on all dimensions, right? So we were like, it's going to be hard for us to be able to build out everything for everybody's specific use cases, right? And if we did it in a conventional way, like, like an application with sense and nodes, you guys would have to be looking at like 200 different settings, right? You're going to be like, you're going to go from, I want to customize it to what the hell is this? Can I just get it to run, right? I just run it, right? So the best way for that is to kind of like, as always, our approach here is to empower you, right? To give you the capabilities to create. So on that note, we decided to do a little bit of a shift in terms of how we're looking at the agents, right? In terms of the product perspective, right? Like, what's up? Did I drop?
For something, Discord did something is like dropped us all, and then it went back up. So we
We should
just
put out
missed
a
like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we should put out another, another choice out there for the community. Like, do we want to keep using Discord? Honestly, I don't like the Discord experience for live streaming. Maybe there's better stuff
I
out there,
ha-
but
I have some ideas that we can discuss later for the next one.
yeah, because it's just terrible. But anyway, so I was saying that our perspective was to always empower you, right? So okay, so instead of like giving you just an app where you can just pick and choose some configurations, which is what most of these autonomous agents are doing, like we want to put the power of you to create the agent fully, right? And of course, you might be thinking, well, I'm not a developer. Well, that's fine. We always make things so that non-developers can use it, right? That's always been our goal. So that's what birthed to the new perspective in terms of how we're going to be building agents. And we did share a little bit of a spoiler on that, right? Like a little bit of a clip that I shared, I think it was 2 weeks ago, what I would showcase how you would simply conversationally talk to the architect, we call it, and then the architect would start creating the components that you need in the systems. So we're going to give you guys a little bit more of a taste of how that works and how it looks. So is there something you'd like to add there, Freak or Rabbit, before I jump into actually showcasing the product?
If the rabbit is not jumping in, I'm just gonna
No.
say, okay. Oh, you're
No,
not jumping.
No, I was going to. No, I was just going to say,
Go ahead.
I have nothing to say. I'm excited for people to see this.
I just want to say, like, this is the moment. This is the moment. So I want to mark it down, and everyone that's recording this, because I know two of you are also recording, just make sure that when Carlos starts sharing his screen, you kind of like bring it, you pin it so it looks big in the recording, because we want to share this with the community after. So, and for the AI taking notes and making the transcription, okay, so this is the moment we need to mark down as the most important moment of State of Dega. And for you, our friends,
Repeat after me. I am going to share this shit.
I am
Yeah,
going
you know what to do.
share their shit.
Yeah, Carlos
And
didn't repeat it,
in the
but
meantime, also in the meantime, let's give an invite to John and to Phoenix because they actually provided part of the content that we're going to be using here for testing out these AI agents. And I'd like them to do kind of like a commentary there, or because we're going to test them, right? So I don't. They're more familiar with their characters than me, so let's get them on board. And
already I send the invites. So guys, if you accept them, you'll come on stage. Prepare your pretty voices. There you go, Mr. JGP.
Johnny.
I guess he's still setting up his microphone. So,
but I cannot like pick. I can only do like this is why this Discord is just terrible. I can basically only do a full screen. It doesn't give me and when it gives me the choice to pick a window, it only gives me like the Discord window. So basically, I can share Discord. I gotta do a full screen share.
Okay, so close the rated and confidential, and and then share the screen.
Usually,
there you go. There you go. There you go.
Finally, okay, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move forward then. Okay, cool. So basically, last time you guys saw me come here to the architect, type in, give me a new flow and all of that. I'm going to do it just different types of steps, just so you know there are different ways to go about the same thing, but whatever you pick is going to work. That's the point, right? So for example, in this case, I want to create something that we create a character, right? And we want to add knowledge to that character from a document, right? So let's start off here. I'm actually going to click this vector rag. So we're going to change these terms to be more human friendly, right? But essentially, vector rag is what you use to kind of like inform an agent from with external data, right? Like with something that you have on a PDF or that you have any crawl system or whatever, right? So if we go down here, this flow already provided some components ready to go, right? So I'm gonna do a little bit of a high level explain. If you're not technical, again, don't worry about that, because these things are already gonna be pre-built. You can always ask the architect, and I'll showcase that as well. But since we're here, basically here you can upload a file, here it gets processed, and here this AstraDB component will store that knowledge within it, right? So actually, I need to pause the screen share. So I need to upload a PDF here. Give me a sec. And I'm uploading a PDF that was given to me by John, and essentially has an original story, right, that he created. And we are going to see how the AI can learn that. Can you see the agents again?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So here it's called Taito Pietro's Big Leap, right? It's a Google Doc that I exported as a PDF, uploaded it here. And this component here called embedding, just for everybody to know, in a simple term, this just takes the PDF and process it in a way that the AI can learn it. That's what that means, right? That's what embedding means. From a high level perspective here, this case I'm using Astra database, right, which is a service provider. You can use Postgres, you can use ChromaDB. There's many providers there, and as time moves forward, we'll start to provide some out of the box components here. Like for example, here I had to go and create the AstraDB so that I could then get its API token. We will enable you to do that here directly without having to leave this space, and you'll just click new and confirm, and that'll generate a new database for you, right? We don't want you to go around 20 different apps configuring all sorts of stuff to be able to get things done. And that's how most agents are working right now. All the platforms out there require you to understand infrastructure, understand operations, understand deployment, configurations, etc. So we're just going to simplify everything here, right? You can think about Dega agents. It's kind of like unifying the vision that we set forward with Dega Studio, Dega Realms, and Dega AI agents, all of them coming together in a single place, right? And in case you guys need a refresher, all of that's in the white paper, which we will update later on, right? Because now it's a single cohesive product that solves all of the problems, right? So here in the database, I already had a database created there. Then I can pick a collection. Think of a collection just as like a table, like a database table, right? Or a Google spreadsheet, a place where you just throw information, right? And then now it should be good. I just need to click here on this button that looks like play, but it's actually run component. And then that'll execute and process the data, right? Seems like everything's there. So that knowledge should be there now, right? Now we're going to connect this to an agent so you guys can see how you can upload more documents here, right? I could just click here and switch that PDF for another one. You can replace that. Here, there's a crawl component. So you can use Firecrawl to pull data from a URL, right? We'll do more demos as time goes by, right? And document them so that you guys can use them. So this actually is a much more complicated flow than what we need right now, and I'm going to show you guys how, as just like everything, it keeps evolving. So all of these components, we don't need them now, and we can make it as easy as dropping in 3 components. But now I'm going to go back to using the architect, right? So I'm going to be here, and I'm going to say I need a set input, output components, right? You can also, manually add them from here, from the search. Or you can, I would say that if you just want to add one, you can add it from the search here. Oops, I closed it. But if you want to add like multiple ones, then it's best to use the architect itself. Take a little bit of time. This is my dev environment for everybody to know, right? It's not it's not optimized. This is not production ready, right? I'm running it directly from my development environment, right? So you can definitely expect this to be way, way faster as time goes by. I'm also actively developing on it and debugging it. So in case you guys see some issues, that's why. But anyway, if you want to add it directly, you can also go here, right? You got chat input, chat output, and it'll just, you can just drag and drop like this, right? Oh, there it is. It added it. Takes like a little bit of a time to heat up, right? This is the one that the architect added. Now let me add. Um, I'm just gonna add the agent manually here. You guys get the point. So here's the agent, right? So remember how complicated all that workflow was? Now it's just compressed into this single component. Like you don't need, and as time goes by, we'll probably take this, which is down here, has 4 modules. We'll just turn it into one single module, right? So, over time, it'll get ever more simpler. Let's put it input here. Let's put this here, right? I'm just going to give it a simple command. You are link from the solid. And I need to set my OpenAI API key. Again, right now you need to set up your API keys, etc. And for someone that's not technical, this is too complicated, right? Even for somebody that knows a little bit about computers, it's not hard at all. But for someone who's completely new, this is too complicated, right? Like going out there, getting API keys, setting them. So we'll just provide, when you do the paid tier, you'll just have an AI key ready to go. So let's give it a shot then. Let's go to playground. Okay. Hey there, who are you? Okay, here's link, right? So right now, it only has the prompt, and of course, LLMs have knowledge of the Zelda games, right? But they don't have knowledge of anything external to that. So, John, can you give me kind of like, well, actually, let's start before we go to John's story. Let's check out Phoenix's character, right? So what I'll do now is I'll replace that I gave it with this one. Start a new session. So Phoenix, what can we ask your character? Something that was part of kind of like the story or the role that you gave it. You there? Well, let's start just asking, who are you? The wolf of a small street, a slick salesman and shopkeeper specialized in trading various items from armor to weapons. I have a knack for bartering and get offer discounts if you play your card right. My trusty orange tabby cat keeps my shop free pest. I take pride in my ability to hype up my wares. How can I assist you today?
Like it looks like what we're doing is we're creating an NPC shopkeeper. Is that what we're doing?
That's what it seems like. I'm finding out, right? Like I don't know. we're finding out. Uh, that's what I wanted to do with this exercise, right? Okay, so this is all that it sells. It says armor, 4 copper, weapons, copper, and greater armor is 10 gold, and so on, right? So obviously, right now it's not formatted, right? We just created this yesterday just to showcase you guys how easy it is to dump in information for your character. This obviously in a game you would format it to make it look pretty, etc. Right? But the point is that it's as easy as copy pasting text to be able to provide an entire personality, history, and capabilities to your NPC characters, right, for your games. And remember that now, thanks to what we've provided, you can have your characters live within your game and within social media, right? So your characters that are built within your game can also promote the game on social media, right? Cool. So we did this. Now let's go to ask about the information of the story that John created. So, John, can you give me a question that would be, I don't know, about a character within the story, something that's very specific there that this AI would not know because it doesn't have access to your story? Are you there, John? Seems he's there, but not talking.
I think John and Phoenix are having problems with the mic or something.
Can you, well, you're in the chat, Free. Can you go and open up the.
Yeah, he says, ask who Ptero is PTE. What? Ptero? Ptero? No.
Like this.
PTERO. Ptero is. Who's Ptero? Yeah. No, but without the first E. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you see it says it's not a character or entity that I'm familiar with in the context of the shop or the items to sell. It doesn't know, right? Now let's plug in the information that we uploaded over here, which is in this database, right? Now we can plug it in over here. We can copy this component. See, now coding and modules are as easy as copy pasting, right? Basically, I would say
Oh.
to use this type of system, if you know how to use, Google Docs, you can use that system, right? Or we will refine it so it gets to the point in which you reuse it. Right now, it has the API, the database, and the same table already chosen, so I don't have to pick it up again. And now you can actually test that here. Let's see who is Peril. Let's do that, and we can run it. All right, I can run this in isolation. Oh yeah, I haven't connected an embedding. Embedding again was kind of like what I was saying at the start, which is just something that allows you to format the information so that AI can understand it, right? So I can just copy paste this component. This is an embedding. Again, I'm thinking we'll probably just mix these components so they become one. So instead of you having to like pick an embedding or a database, you're just give me a memory component, right? So let's connect this to here, embeddings, right? If these were not connectable, it wouldn't let me do it, right? Like let's delete it. Like I can't just plug it in wherever I want, right? See, I can't connect it here. It says incompatible, right? So the system informs you of what you can do and you can't do. Okay, so we provided the embedding. Let's see now and try to run our component here before we plug it into the AI. Okay, here you can see search results, right? So I click there. Petero's big leap deep in the heart of prehistoric jungle, etc. So we got information, right? This is what's extracted from the PDF. Okay, so we know it works. So now that we know it works, we can feed it into our AI. Now, this is something that's going to be pretty cool. Check this out. You can grab this and transform it into a tool, right? Tool mode. Once I mark it like that, I love those highlights in cyan colors. Reminds me like a candy shop. Once you put this there, now you can just grab the tool endpoint and plug it into tools, right? So now this is a tool of this AI agent. And I'm not going to showcase that today, but just for you to know, the agent itself can become a tool, right? So you can have agents use other agents as tools. So that way you specialize each one of them in something specific. So now we plugged it in here, right? We got tools. We already tested it, it worked. Let's see now if it was successful for our character to use. Right now our in-game character should have knowledge about Pepero. It didn't pull it in. Let's see if it went and used the tool. It doesn't seem it used them. Let me see what's up here. I'm gonna try to debug a few things here, guys, but I gotta check out some other flows. In the meantime, can you can you share first on your side, like what do you think about the tooling we're creating here and how it can affect while I'm debugging this little issue here?
Yeah, what I'm seeing right now, and especially what I like the most, is making it a tool. Like the building, like after trying to build and going everywhere, trying to build my own agents. This is way more simple already, and I'm visual, so it's like actually seeing what I'm building and structuring that way helps me a lot. The next thing is making it a tool. So making the agents a tool, it's kind of like one step closer to what we've been talking about, the agent ecology system, where all agents are working together and hiring each other and calling each other. Because one of the things agents have is they have specific tasks, they have specific knowledge. They're constrained, and when they're constrained, they work better. If they're really open, they get messy. So having agents that know how to do things, and like having the personality one and then having another one that is an expert in marketing and social media, and they're working together and they're creating like all these things for the game, but also you're going inside the game with the personality agent, and he's getting feedback from the game. So that will be also feeding the social media. So it's kind of like you're it's you said it. It's, ecosystem for this, and I love it. I see no limits on what we can do here right now. And at the end, my question is humans who are left with the creative part, the intuitive part, the deep connections with other humans, and just like having agents represent you and your goals or what you want to do or your ideas in the digital world. So I
Yeah,
think it's amazing.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. We want to, humans are the ones that have agency, so they're going to be the ones creating forward. It's just about empowering people to be able to make those creations real. So, can you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there's one thing that I have forgotten to do. Again, all of these things we will eventually have preset because we definitely don't want people having to do this manually. Is here you need to instruct it what to do with the tool, right? So the first tool is just basically this one you don't need. The first one, which is the search, that's the one that I just added a little description. Search for information you don't have, right? As simple as that. Now, when we run it, right, let's create a new one and say who is the. How you can see the actions it's accessing that database, and this is, what you're seeing here in this chat is for you, for the creator, right? Like when you expose this through a game, through a chat application, through Twitter, we're not going to showcase all the steps that it's taking here, right? This is for you, the builder, to understand what it's doing. It's coming in here, it sees the input, who is Petero, then it starts to execute the DB search documentation, it pulls the information, and then it generates the output and provides that output in the chat format, right? So here we can see Petero is a character from the story title. Petero is Big Leap. He is a young pterodactyl living in a prehistoric jungle who was born with a disability that prevents him from using his back legs. And this is one sad story you created here, John. Come on. We needed something hypey. But it's just the same, right? You can see here it has information on them, right? On the entire story. If it let's ask for something a little bit more elaborate, right? Has he ever bought in your shop? Because that, it says if he hasn't, right? Like if we included in the PDF information about, I don't know, a historic record of potato buying from the shopkeeper, if it was part of the lore, then it would say it is, right? But that's a completely separate story that has nothing to do with the prompt that we ingested here from Phoenix, right? And precisely that was the point, right? To showcase that you can create a character here and then add information that's completely well, it should be related when you build your game. But the point is that it's information that wasn't there in the prompt, and this system can now access it, right? And you would say, well, why don't I just come here and add all that info to the prompt? And there's a lot you can add here, to be fair. It can be pretty big, but it can't be gigabytes big, right? Whereas with this type of system, when you process it here, when we process the PDF, you can give it thousands of PDF, right? And it will start structuring that information as knowledge, because this isn't such just a text search. It does a similarity search, right? So it searches based on similarity of semantics. So you're genuinely identifying what part of the information that you have in your database is closest to the question or the other query that you're getting when you ask for it, right? It's not just, oh, this had the word potato and I'm just going to look for that. If there were, let's say, 10,000 peteros in the document and you said, the one that's a carpenter, okay, then it'll go and find the specific information for it, right? And that's next level of power, right? Essentially, your AI character or NPC can now tap into gigabytes and gigabytes of information and process that and let's say make it part of the context or the conversation that it's actually using right now. Now, for those of you who are devs and want to build and like, well, this is cool, how would I use that in my existing game or my existing app? You just go to API and you basically have here several options on how to go about it, right? You can do directly a curl command, right? This is kind of like the most universal way that you can communicate with a system. You could just click here, you'll have an example. And this is an example of this working code of this workflow, right? It's not some generic code that's repeated over and over. This code is specific to this workflow, right? And you can do JavaScript or whatever you want, right? So that's kind of like the overall vision here that I wanted to showcase for this example. Just to bring it back, we uploaded, additional knowledge to our database from a DF, from a story. We created an agent, right, that has its own characteristic information and personality here. We were able to chat with it, but it didn't have obviously any information of this original PDF story, right, that John wrote. But now that we plugged it in here, it can access that information, right, and use it as a tool. And you can have many more tools here that you want to use, right? So as you guys could see, these can be a Twitter connector, a LinkedIn connector, etc. Right? So we're going to bring about all of the different things that we want to do, both off-chain and on-chain, to this single cohesive platform. And last but not least, let's give our flow a name. I'll call it Shopkeeper. Shopkeeper MP, and it's ready to go, right? Okay, one more thing that I wanted to show here is we have, our concept of flows. We have a concept of components. These are like custom created components, right, that I have here. And then there's this concept, which I'm not going to showcase today. I'm going to leave this one for the next demo, is of a Sparks. So Sparks are infrastructure, right? So, you obviously you saw me create the agent, you saw the flow. How do you get that into production, right? How do you release that for your games, your apps, or for it to interact with Twitter? And that's where Sparks are going to come in here. And you're going to be able to tie in a voice agent or a chat-based agent or a Twitter agent, whatever you want, with your flow, right? So here's where you would pick that flow. See, these are the ones that we just created, like Shopkeeper NPC, and then you'll be able to have a voice agent that you can interact with what you just saw, right? It'll reply in real time with knowledge that it can tap into from the PDFs that we added or from the the definition of the character that we created. So this one I'll showcase in another day because it'll take some time in and of its own. But that's kind of like the three core concepts that we have ready to go right now.
That is amazing. That is incredible. I don't know, Rabbit, you have something else to say, but I cannot wait for all these things that, to come out. So I don't know. I would love to hear John and Phoenix, but they have no mics. But Rabbit, any thoughts? And we do have a question from Phoenix.
I just want it. I mean, it's like, I've been working with AI systems for a long time, and just to have something like this, I mean, Carlos didn't even show the architect. It's like, the architect is the high level agent that you can talk to just to have it build this stuff. I want to build an NPC with memory, and it'll go and build this flow, for you automatically. So, I mean, it's just, to me, I'm more of a technically minded person. This is turning into a masterpiece.
So, Carlos, how? One question I'll do Phoenix, and then I'll drop some of mine. But is the Phoenix question is, Rabbit, you said something? Okay, so question from Phoenix: Will importing PDFs and I'm assuming other formats like text, etc., be possible with multi-file select and or drag and drop?
Yeah, right now it's only that one at a time, but you'll be able to have multi-select for sure.
Okay, so my questions go more to like when and how do I get access to that?
It'll be released this Q2. We'll do the same process we did with the current autonomous agents that were deployed, right? Which was release it to the mods team, then expand that to wider private beta, right? Other people will be involved, that you can just talk to the mods if you want to be a part of that. And then after that, we'll do the release with limited amount of access, right? Just for a few people. And then we'll just unlock it for everybody after that. So all of that happening in Q2.
Amazing. I cannot wait. Like I'm eager to start testing this and see, like trying to break it, see how far I can take it. So count me in. I'm in for this. People or community, JK, Black Wolf, Miki Lala, Herman, Randomize. What's up? If you have questions, please drop them in the chat. And John, Phoenix, I don't know if you have other questions, or we can move on in the agenda you have, Carlos. Oh, you were going to ask as well. Okay, when? Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next, guys? Basically, in Q2, besides obviously moving forward with the release, we want to make sure to create tutorials for training agents on documents, training them on websites, having voice agents as I showcased. And then there's going to be the gaming modules. That part might not, the front end gaming modules will most likely be after Q2, but we're already doing the research on that. So essentially, it'll all be in there as well. As I said, this brings together the vision for Studio, realms, and agents together, right? So you'll be able to create infrastructure resources, which was Studio's original value proposition, Dega Studio, right? And you'll be able to create Dega agents, right? So two of those three pillars are going to be ready in this Q2. The third one, which is the front end, we're going to do probably in Q3. I'm already researching and trying to identify which are the best base frameworks and modules that we can reuse for this. As some of you might, question like, oh, but you guys were already creating a roguelike and several other systems. Yes, that is true, but as we've said in many of the Dega states of Dega, and many times that we chat in conversations as well, AI just completely changes everything, right? Like we can't make new systems the way that we would have done it a year and a half ago, right? AI has to be at the core of it, at the center of it, and around AI. Think about it kind of like AI is the sun, right? And around the sun, we make, the planets, right? So the individual features, be it creating infrastructure resources, creating um, games, whatever it is, it all has to be around AI, right? So that's why we decided to take, recenter ourselves and change the dynamics of what we're deploying and how we're going to go about it. So that what you guys just saw is going to be the model going forward, right? Being able to create your flows, being able to create resources that those flows can be that can use those flows, and vice versa, right? The flows can tap into the resources that you've created, and then just continue building up from there. So the gaming modules are going to be in Q3 most likely. The front end gaming modules, you can do the entire back end with this system.
So my next question is, so we have several gaming partners, from video games that are being built and they're actually live, to gaming platforms or events, a lot of different partners in the game world. How do you see this connecting with them? I more like a Dega Studio, Dega Realm. This encompasses everything together. And are they going to be testing it also, so we can see what the partners are going to do?
For sure. I mean, there's two types of things that the partners are going to likely want to do there. One of them is some of them will use them internally for automating their processes, which is just like, it's not what we're pitching to them, but for sure they'll do it. Like some of them already said that to us. And then others will use it to integrate their on-chain operations. As you guys know, there's a lot of projects out there trying to bring together the power of automating and simplicity that AI provides with on-chain transactions. So, I mean, for this type of system, if you guys saw it, like doing an on-chain interaction will just be another one of those boxes, right? Just another component that'll have internally the code to interact with, be it Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, right? So yeah, that's kind of like the purpose there. And besides that, obviously some of the gaming partners will want to use this for their NPCs, their characters, all that, right? And as you can imagine, there's so many use cases. This is why we decided to go with this builder approach, right? Because there's so many use cases that if we wanted to do an app for them, we'd drown, right? There's no way we could build an app that has so much flexibility that you can do on-chain transactions with it, gaming NPCs with it, and some other stuff, right? Like there's no way. So what we're saying is like, no, you can mix and match at your discretion, right? It's kind of like going to a buffet, right? Like you pick what you want. Like if you're just vegetarian, there's just vegetables there. If you're just a meat eater on the carnivore diet, well then just eat meat. If you want both, grab both, whatever the hell you want, it's your choice, right? And that's what this platform enables.
I've seen people like building games today with different models. Like they're doing it with Grok, they're doing it with Anthropics, with Claude in some platform like Cursor and all of those, and they're launching games, and some of them are like pretty cool. You even spoke about some of them, I think, on the last State of Dega or in a call we had. And Lovable is having their hackathon this weekend, so a lot of things happening on that end, and I think that would bring something refreshing to this platform. And am I gonna be able to also tap into those things through here?
I mean, those are different platforms, right? Like you're saying, Lovable or all of these other systems. They have very specific objectives, which is like creating web apps, right? I mean, a web app can be very flexible in what it can do, but that's kind of like where they want to live, right? Like we're providing a full-fledged solution, full stack from the database, from the logic, the AI, and then later on as we do the front end as well. So we're a more complete solution in that side. But in terms of integrations, I do expect agents to talk to each other, right? For example, I didn't bring this up because it's a technical subject, but this system is already MCP enabled, right? MCP means Model Context Protocol. It's one of the most popular protocols right now for agents to be able to tap into tools and even other apps, right? So to give you an example, Blender, which is used for 3D modeling in games, has an MCP implementation. So that means that AI agents can now grab Blender and create 3D characters and 3D shapes in it. And if you're curious about that, I just posted a retweet on my Twitter profile. So anybody that wants to check that out, you can go and see that. And you can see how an AI creates a 3D component by using Blender. So this system that we're providing can be used like that, right? So if somebody else, like if somebody, let's say, comes and use Lovable, and if Lovable implements the MCP protocol, most people are doing it, then their Lovable agent can talk to our system, right? So you could build the front end in Lovable and then use our system to build the back end and to build the databases and the infrastructure and so on. Yeah, so this system, AIs will use each other and ours will do the same, right? Like this system already can also use existing MCP services. So that Blender protocol that I was just talking about, you can plug it in here, right? And you can make a flow that works with Blender to create 3D models, right? I haven't tested it out myself. There's probably a few tweaks we would need to do, but it's possible, right? It's already built in. So yeah, that's definitely a future that's gonna be coming up. Agent to agent interoperability.
Amazing, amazing. I have questions here if you want me to read them.
I can read them. So basically, yeah, the PDF one, then paid features, yeah, payments will be enabled in Q2 as well. In terms of model integrated, there's a whole bunch, man. It's like there's the Vertex, which are the Google ones. There's OpenAI. There's Claude. There's DeepSeek. Never worry about models anymore, guys. Like models are a commodity. All of them are going to be everywhere eventually. If they're not there now, give it like a few months, 3 or 4 months. Everybody's going to have every model because they're a commodity now, right? It's like saying Wikipedia. Imagine if you asked, "Can I access Wikipedia?" I mean, yeah, everybody can do it, right? So all models are going to be everywhere. But yes, we also provide that here. I just use OpenAI because it's convenient. Everybody knows about them. But you can pick and choose whatever. You could even post your own and then integrate it here. Um, a way to integrate a models running on people's companies' own hardware. Yeah, that's super easy. Super easy. So yeah, that's also a possibility. Yeah, definitely the future is here. Like those components, they can be edited. By the way, I didn't showcase that, but you can click the component and click an option that says code. You can see the code for that component, and then you can edit it, right? With the architect. The architect will be able to modify existing code and components or create new ones if you want. And then based on that, you can basically do anything, right? The only thing that we're missing here right now is the front end part, which I said we'll get to work on that on the first. We'll work on it on Q2, but it'll be ready probably in Q3.
I'm gonna be honest with something. I just want to go to sleep after this and wake up and have access to it. I cannot wait. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, dude,
yeah,
I need this now. I need this now.
for sure. No, we need it. Like, in Dega, we like to automate a lot of stuff. That's the only way we've been able to operate with a small team. And with this, we can just spend, weeks and weeks creating a whole bunch of flows, and then you just have a company that runs 24/7, and you barely need to interact, right?
I want to connect this with a voice kind of like transcript agent that I can like does what Phoenix is saying is like I'm just speaking with it, and he's pulling out all these things and he's doing it.
I'll do that demo next time. And actually, oh yeah,
Ah,
one other thing that I wanted to say, like the architect will be voice enabled as well, right? Like, because I was typing
no.
out, and I was like, damn, I'm getting tired of typing so much, right, all day. So I was like, I want to talk to the architect, right? So you'll be able to have it navigate you across the flows, ask questions about your flows, etc. So that'll be pretty cool. That'll be Jarvis level stuff, right? Because I know a lot of people are using the Jarvis example because it's from the Iron Man movie, but they usually just have it do like customer service, right? I'm like, that's lame. Now, to me, a real Jarvis is one that makes stuff for you, right? Like pull up Blender, right? Create this character, boom, 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 boom. Now create me a flow that powers that character. Now pull data from this website, boom, boom, just creating stuff, and you're just talking to it and watching it produce, monitor the results. Kind of like Tony Stark. That's where we're going with it, right?
I cannot wait for that because the way I've been doing it, and there might be better ways, but the way I've been doing is recording myself, then going into 11 Labs, doing the transcription, and then feeding that transcription into one of the language platforms, and going from there. And it's painful, and I don't want to do it in yes because you get tired of all that prompting. It's a conversation is way more
Mhm.
natural and efficient. Do you think
Yeah,
that will be the
sure.
UI of the future? Will be like conversational completely?
Not completely, not partially. There's some things that you rather type. Like I don't want to. If I'm gonna give somebody my email, I'd rather type it, right? Because they can mishear it or get it wrong. There are things that are better typing directly. Or URL. Like imagine dictating somebody like a URL, right? Like .com/area1/section2/ no, you're not gonna speak that, right? You're gonna copy paste it. So that's always gonna be there. Okay,
Freaky,
everybody. Me.
you want to think about the future, Freaky. Just think about putting on like an augmented reality glasses set and being able to walk up to these things and configure them like they're standing in front of you and having them talk to each other right in front of you and do all this stuff like in a 3D space. That's the way I see this going. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, guys, we gotta wrap up
Yeah, I
because we
got a
have a
call.
few meetings coming up. Last thing is, so what can you do as as part of the Deca community? Just be ready to grow this, right? Be ready to share this. All the demos that we're going to be releasing, the videos. Freak, actually, besides the recording of the State of Dega, it'd be great to have like a shorter clip, just a demo, and just like cut off all the pauses and all of that, so we can compress it to like a minute or two, so that people can share that and get everybody ready to build with this. Again, you can do everything from serious business processing and automation to playful characters that are chatting online to NPCs that are integrated in your game, right? And essentially, we're going to be doing live streams. We're going to be doing hackathons, both Dega hackathons as well as some with our partners as well. On multiple ecosystems as usual. We're multi-chain. We'll be there wherever you are and you need to build. We will be there for you. And last but not least, just a quick reminder, we did mention this last State of Dega, but it wasn't recorded. We did the 15% Dega token burn, right? That was published. We published the transaction as well. So anybody can verify that. So just wanted to just drop that news again to make sure that everybody got wind of it. Okay, thank you, everybody. Me and the rabbit got to jump. Freak, cue the outro if you want.
Yes.
Take care,
So
everybody.
you take care, everyone. I will leave you with a song that you enjoy, but and you already know. But this is the State of Dega. See you next month, and I'll be clipping this, but I'll also post it so you can clip it in YouTube and create your own content and share it. Also doing a reaction video for this, kind of like commenting everything that was going through my head as it was happening. So see you, everyone.
State of Dega, here we stand. Excited crowds awaited grand. Our first news, everything brand